From the stories that I see in flip four drives, no matter what trailer that's on the back, it seems to be the wrong vehicle for that application. And it's that soft off-roader rather than something that's built to tow or something like that.
Yeah.
We're back.
We're back.
2 big Chevys behind us now. How'd that grow? I can't even remember the background last time, but it's good to see it in the shed.
It is good, mate.
It's even better when you leave.
Yeah.
You're about to go on another trip?
We are, mate. We're about to get back on the road. We've done our hard yards with the shows and releasing the new van and the new truck.
Got a bit going on,
mate. We've had a lot going on. It's been very busy.
Up and down. Your life's like a roller coaster, from what I see.
Mate, it is every single day. Our calendar's full every single day.
I've never seen so.
Don't be serious. You got to be serious.
I
can't look at you.
I've never seen someone without a job be so busy before. No, but
that is true.
In all seriousness, like speaking of a job while you're on the road and what you guys do for all your sponsors and everyone included, there's a lot of work that goes in it.
Mate, there's a hell of a lot more work than Miriam and I when we used to run both our businesses. It's definitely a full-time and a commitment, and obviously social media does not turn off.
No,
never turns off. It never goes on holidays. It's continuous.
If it's not professional shot videos and then the time editing, you don't have a massive team around you to do it all.
Right, it's all ourselves.
It's all yourselves.
It'd be nice to get to a team one day to do that, but in saying that, doing the professional stuff, we actually haven't had a chance to actually do it correctly because we've been so busy. So we'll fire up our YouTube again. We'll change the way we do it. We'll more cinematic and more for the love of it. I think now, mate. It's it's getting back into the grind again. So.
I can't wait to see the new van up the beach and out bush.
Yeah, we need to find the most corrugated roads. We need to put it through its paces.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we have our name. Yeah, we have our name behind it, so I've got to make sure it's good and doesn't break. So we'll find. I know the most, the brutal roads, and hopefully they're in really bad conditions, and we can put it through its paces. The fun stuff, mate. What
you've done? A little bit of maintenance on the truck, retalk. It's come into the shed. For a couple little things, but obviously the most important thing, and this is what I say to all of my customers as well, is that ride performance and towing safe or traveling safe. So you would have seen a few of our things we're talking about, like the essentials package, which is your ride performance, suspension, wheels and tires, airbags in the rear end and setting up the rear end, as well as your tow stuff for the van. So there's a few little changes in there depending on what van you have, how heavy the rear end of your setup is, what size suspension you've got, but looking after it's key.
100%.
You can't just leave the workshop, hit the road, and never check anything.
Just forget about it.
And you're really big at checking while you're on the road.
I am. Yeah. The corrugations and all that. We're big on just checking everything. We bash it into people, man.
Yeah.
They say the best gear is always the best, but you still got to maintain everything. You got to make sure everything is tight, and we're big on that, man. Huge on that.
One thing recently as well that a lot of the performance shocks that we use, not just us, but is being used in Australia more, especially on these big trucks, can be serviced. So
all serviceable,
get your shocks serviced. Keep them in good condition, and they're going to keep the rest of the suspension.
A golden rule for us is every 20,000 Ks.
Yeah.
Get them in, get them serviced, get new oil, check all the seals, check everything, and maybe tweak a bit of that few little.
When you do that, I often get asked how to do maintenance. Obviously, just jumping under there and seeing if it looks like it shouldn't have a massive gap in it. It probably shouldn't.
No.
So it's almost like, even without a lot of mechanical knowledge, we got YouTube, we got TikTok, we got so much socials that we can watch now to do the basics. There's not really an excuse now.
No, I mean, it depends on, you can feel the way it drives as well. I mean, on its own, if you feel things are a little loose and all that, get under there, grease it all. I mean,
after you've washed it, you're on cement rather than out bush on the dirt.
You prefer it like that.
It's usually a lot nicer than trying to check it while you're on the beach or something.
Absolutely, yeah.
What's your routine usually when you hit something like that, a pad or home or?
Mate, it's every few days, mate. Every few days, I'm always just I do nothing all day. I've just got to check under everything. It's just a natural thing that I do all the time. After being on the road that long, it's just normal. It's just like getting up and mowing the lawn every weekend. It's
wheel lug nuts, things like that.
Everything, mate. Everything, and then obviously Nico everything underneath.
Yeah.
Just so you can visualize it. It's a lot easier than actually having to get under there and manually check everything. So it's crucial, man. Crucial.
Just see if that paint line's moved a little bit.
100%. As soon as that moves, something's moved. So 100% check.
There you go.
Yep. Simple.
We first bumped into each other when I was building a pretty epic 200 series.
That was stunning.
For a customer.
Yep.
And you saw that and you were about to purchase your 200, but you ended up, you didn't want to follow the crowd. You wanted to be different.
Yeah, I want to do something different.
And you jumped into your first Chevy build.
Well, the only reason I did is because I actually drove one. If I had never driven one, I probably almost wouldn't have probably not gone down that path. But
you're one of the first that I can remember in Australia to do a big one and travel and advertise that online. I'm sure there's there's been guys that have had the F truck since 04 and, you know, there's some big, cool, old school stuff.
The old Power Strokes and stuff. Yeah, they were out there, but I guess no one really documented it like we did.
Yeah.
So.
And, so you got that. But I think the big thing there as well is there were these big trucks. There was no GVM talk back then. Everyone was a car license.
There was never GVM talk.
And the massive thing was the difference between NB1 and NB2 now. Like, it's all being legal by the books. Yep. There's more rules to follow. It's the same rules, actually. It's just more enforced.
It's exactly the same. It's just being enforced, and the knowledge is out there now, mate. We all scream it. So
doing your first Chevy build, how much easier is it to get a build done nowadays than it was back then?
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, even getting the suspension, you couldn't buy anything in Australia.
I remember I think we were talking suspension, and you were using Mike from Mike's Truck Shop to try to import. Then it was like,
it was lost. It was 5 months on a boat. And I'm sitting there going, okay, this is going to be low for the rest of its life, mate. It was a stressful moment, mate.
Welcome to American Trucks.
Welcome to American Trucks. I'm like, if it's this bad, I'm done. I'm going to go back to a cruiser. But
it was a good looking build, though.
It was. It was the OG, mate. It was the OG. It's still floating around down in Newcastle some way, down that way, with OG 80 number plates, which is really cool. But since that truck, mate, I just made Big Dog happen, didn't I? I didn't pay any bills. I just said do it, didn't I?
No, yeah, I think like you and a few others definitely put a bit of push in there to. There's a scene here, Dean. I can feel it coming, and you were big for that.
Yeah, huge, man. Like, there was a gap.
It's about to blow up, Dino. There's going to be trucks everywhere. These things just do it better than anything else. Like, that's some of the stuff you're saying. Both in text, we didn't really catch up as much as we should have. You were gallivanting around the country, and I had a proper job. But
the funny thing is, you actually listened to me as well, which was really cool.
Probably the only one in your life, mate.
No,
better than Miriam does, eh?
Exactly. You knew it, mate. You knew it was there too.
Oh, I think
you had your taste, didn't you?
Yeah,
build that big Ram.
No, it was a massive GMC where I used to work. So that was a
CamRam, mate.
CamRam, but before that,
was awesome.
My first taste of American truck here in Australia was I worked for a company that had literally a Lamborghini wide body kit dropped on the floor.
I know.
It was a GMC 38-inch
big black one.
Yeah.
Huge neg 44s.
Oh, massive.
It was huge.
I went down the street. This thing was sideways, and I called the customer and said, "I've got a problem." He's like, "What's up?" "I'm not giving your truck back. I've fallen in love." And since then, it was always that was the photos I've still got on my phone that I go back to and I look at, and it was like, that one was nailed. Like, very impractical. It was a cool looking daily streetmobile. It wasn't a tourer, but it was the one that was like, this is
I think that's the pinnacle. That if I didn't tour, didn't do what we did, that's the truck I'd have.
A big, sexy HD truck.
Massive HD, big offset wheels, just a stance, mate.
Really annoying everyone else on the road.
Correct. Just this is me. It's big, it's bad.
But yeah, we did that, but then during CamRam build, that was the big one.
CamRam
build. We spoke a lot during that time.
That was amazing. So was that built after mine or before? I was in awe at that thing, mate.
No. So you had the
owner was a shonky bloke, though. Did you know him? Oh, you would have dealt with him heaps, jeepers.
So you had the canopy on the back. CamRam was getting the same canopy.
Yep.
And he gave me a list like this.
Yep.
And no one in Australia had done, I think, the list that got put into that vehicle.
It was an amazing truck. Absolutely.
To the point that, like, I didn't even know what Carly suspension was at that point.
Did he gave me that list?
Yeah, Cam gave me that list with that already. He did a lot of research when it came to
He's not just pretty looking. He actually
build.
knows something.
And I don't know if he knew how much it was all going to cost. I still don't think he's told his wife.
I don't think his wife knows either.
She thought she was having an affair during that build, mate. He was sneaking off to the back room and
I have seen him at a casino or two, so she's probably used to it, mate. That was.
I think the only thing missing from that build, it was like twin locked. It had everything: the power, the big fuel tanks. He was way overweight. At the time, and that was a learning curve there for all involved as well.
He used the thing damn well too, didn't he?
Oh, it was amazing. And then as soon as we started Big Dog Builds, during that journey, we talked about it to kick the business off. And as soon as the workshop opened, Cam was off, and
of course he was.
And he put on the R&D badge.
I
think he had a few T-shirts that showed that. And he tried to break it, and we learnt from it, fixed it, adapted, and
I saw it broken.
I was only talking to a customer today about how much money, time, effort we've spent with all the team involved, especially on the suspension side of things when it comes to the steering, the front end, getting the geometry right.
Absolutely,
It's
man.
not as simple as just buying a kit off the shelf like you can in the US.
Yep.
How everything works, and having the knowledge both, throughout learning myself, sitting behind the computer, talking to the customer with my experience, but the feedback from the workshop. When it was small, it was a lot of feedback with the customer one-on-one.
Crucial.
And as we've grown, there's not as much needed back and forth during the build because we've worked it all out already.
You've done it a few times.
So,
the conversion plays a bigger part in the Fords and the Rams too.
Yeah.
GM's very similar. It's straight off the shelf pretty much.
So the trucks are getting easier to work on in regards to there's less major modifications needed, which limits how you can put a suspension kit in, for example, and the front end steering and things like that. There's still a few challenges and a few little tweaks and how it gets done versus how the instructions say to do it that you learn and adapt and go from there. And I suppose that's our little secret IP that we've got and we'll always have. We show a lot of stuff on media. We do a lot of filming ourselves, hence why I said I know how much effort you put in. But getting the build right, getting it safe for the road is the big thing. And the CamRam build to kick it off, he travelled around Australia. We set up the workshop, and Rams we dominated for like 2 years.
It was a Ram way back in the day, wasn't it? It was incredible.
And now it's a big shift. I think Ram Trucks Australia feeling the GMSV impact.
I'd say they would be.
GMSV, most popular HD truck in Australia for a reason.
What's your percentage now? You'd have to be 60, 70% GM now?
Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's amazing. Who would have thought?
Even probably a little bit higher at the moment.
Yeah, wow.
And it's just really there.
Amazing. I mean, GM have put their heart on the table, mate, or however you say it, and they've
gone big.
They've doubled their remanufacturing. Yeah, they need to. Yeah.
And what with the reman, you've been down to the plant.
Yeah. Mind blowing. So they've doubled that since we've been down there.
Really?
So they're doing
area.
Yeah, double capacity.
Wow.
100 to 120 HDs a month.
A month. We need more of you.
Yeah, they
We're ready.
Let's go. Do you want me to go pick some up now? I can make a couple phone calls.
Can we just bring up a few Freightliners up?
100%. I'm actually going to lunch with them tomorrow all day as part of my, working hard. So
lunch. I can tell.
At Saintry Cove. Look, they know, mate. They know, and it's actually funny because the 1500 was their focus for a long time. That's finished, mate. It's. I mean, the HD trucks have outgrown it tenfold, which is good. It's actually good to see.
And that was the 1500 versus the 2500 when we started Big Dog Builds was a big one that I was pretty brutal in the early days to a lot of people that had waited a long time. You used to order a vehicle and have to wait 12 months, 18 months back then.
Yeah, 100%.
I was the bad guy a little bit telling people that the 1500 Ram wasn't the platform for them. If they wanted the canopy on the back, the van on the back, they're going to have issues. And they didn't like that at first, honestly. It was like...
But just 90% of people thought that way.
Yeah.
There's endless people that have messaged us. And fortunately, they've messaged us before they've actually put the money over the table.
Yeah.
And I said, don't do it. You need, in that particular, when they've got the canopy, they've got the van.
When you're super heavy, you need a HD truck.
You need HD
Simple as that.
Yeah. And I think that's the whole education on the NB2 side.
Yeah.
Which we didn't know. I mean, 12 months, 24 months ago, no one knew this sort of stuff.
Minimal. Than that, mate. A bit longer.
Yeah, okay. First truck.
5 years. We're already into our fourth year.
Yeah, that actually is a good point. Time flies when you're having fun, as they say,
Learn a lot starting the business off and getting as much information as we could.
Yep.
And part of like Cam while he was on the road, I was looking after the workshop, obviously the face of the business and setting it up with the people, the customers, the staff, but the behind the scenes stuff, which was funny because behind the scenes in previous roles that I've had working for others has always been put down a little bit. There's always this little joke. You wouldn't understand how much behind the scenes.
So
but
true.
The behind the scenes work, the research, the effort, all of that really just accelerates how quick you can grow. And I think that really proves with where we are today as well.
You've got an absolutely mind-blowing team behind you, man. And it takes a mammoth team to do this.
It's getting scary big. I'm surprised I've still got hair. Cam's gone grey, but I've still
He's always been grey, hasn't he?
Batman ears are getting bigger, but
you're looking really good, mate, for stress.
Few staff members we've got. Far out, they make me stress, but...
I've seen them in action, mate. I'd be stressed too, brother.
No, we've got a really good crew throughout the whole business now, and it's hard for. It's been a challenge for the staff in the business as well, because especially ones that have been there from the start that have seen the evolution, and as we built the business as well, another thing that Cam did in the background was you deal with people, Dean, we'll build the business around you. And that had a lot of changes, impacts. There was a lot of hard times in there, especially when the guys on the floor, for example, that were the ones putting the trucks together were seeing all these extra people popping up going, why do we need that? And you fast forward a few years now and you see pre-staged trolleys that we're turned into digital job cards. Everything's organised, the processes are there. And without those extra bodies in the early days, there's no way we would have grown to that.
And that's exactly the same in our life too. You know, people don't see how much effort behind the scenes goes into what we do.
Yeah.
Working with the brands, the R&D side, all that sort of stuff. So that plays a crucial part in the business,
massive.
isn't it? Huge
the hours put into that is.
And I remember when I was a younger bloke working out the back, and you'd see these people came like, we were here first. You know, what's going on here? And you did you don't understand it till you do it yourself. It's crucial in the business. So.
No, it's massive. So
it's, hats off to you guys, mate. You're killing it. Dino, I see one major fault in this business here, though.
What?
Every day I come past and I've got nowhere to park. How many actual builds are you doing now, mate? Because there's no room out the front.
Yeah, so we may have outgrown the new workshop within 4 months.
I told you so.
We're getting more efficient, but more vehicles are coming through. This week, I believe the team have got about 8 to hand over. So eight trucks in the 1 week.
That's incredible.
Well over 600 now through the workshop. Obviously, all different size vehicles and builds. Minimum sort of build average pricing sort of around that 15 grand now for something smaller, suspension and whatnot. And some of the bigger builds, scary dollars, well over 100K.
Yeah, we know those dollars.
And then you go, canopy on top of that and the truck price. So, the sky's the limit, but
100%.
It's not just about the dollars. Like I said, the most important thing is all of the trucks that have come through, setting them up the right way. So 8 trucks out the shed today, this week, meant that I'm looking from upstairs down and the whole car park is daunting. No staff are allowed to park in their own car park at the moment. The workshop's looking great. It's not as cluttered in here though, and that's the difference. It's
so that's the bottleneck for you now outside trying to store everything.
Which we didn't think it was going to be, to be honest. It's you get so much process procedure put into the workshop, which is amazing.
It flows. It's going to bottleneck at some point.
Yeah, and I think the same a little case study needs to be done for the car park now. But it's a great problem to have. And we're super happy with all of the customers that have come through. Obviously, from the start, it's the customers that trusted us when we were in the early stages of the business. I think the first vehicle into the last workshop, one of the first vehicles was Dave's 200. We all know who Dave is.
We know who Dave is.
And his 200 series came in for a little tinker, but that's just Dave. I think he was the first and only Land Cruiser in the new workshop.
I was about to say, was it the only Land Cruiser?
I don't know how he's got this power pass.
How did he do it?
But it's like the Bunnings power pass, but it's Dave's.
I don't understand. He always ends up in my Caravan somehow as well.
But the early customers and then I've now got the repeat customers that I've done builds for in the Land Cruiser scene in the past that are now coming back and jumping into the
shifting
trucks.
over.
So it's great having that rapport in the industry as well, and now bringing those builds into the new workshop. Obviously, from the start, trusting us with big dollar builds on a small new build-up company. Quickly evolved. We reinvest now for 4 years. Big dollars back into the business, especially when it comes to the social media presence, the amount of effort we're putting into online, YouTube.
I thought that was a totally separate company. You have Big Dog Media.
Nah,
because you guys are pumping the media and the education side out.
You know how much effort's involved?
You guys are a content machine. You got a good bloke running that side, mate, because...
Well, people think it's me editing, but no, I don't even know what's happening
You
anymore.
wouldn't know how to edit, would you?
We've got
sales.
Honestly, we've got a team of about 7 people just in media.
You can see it, mate. But from someone who doesn't see the media side, you look at it and go, oh, yeah, you're doing it, but we understand it. And mate, that's a full-time job for an army, the content
and that's
you're putting out.
And like the power of it, I've always run the social media accounts, even with previous employers, employers that I've worked for. But then when it came to starting my own and you're looking at every dollar, Cam really sort of just said, "Nah, trust me with this. That's my background," and that really proves now, especially now, it's come a massive way. And I think without looking at the dollars that we're putting into the media, the effort, definitely, I think we're putting one of the most amount of effort, so the biggest effort in the industry
by far,
because it's just crucial. Like, people love it; they love to see it. The feedback I get on the videos, I don't think is like engaging, is
I get
really
what you're
interesting
saying.
as well.
Yep.
I've had a few comments this week just about this massive suspension video that I've shot.
That was a great video, by the way.
Mate, I couldn't stand myself in that one. I'm pretty like I'm getting
It was
confident
informational,
now,
mate. I don't think
but-
people worry about that. It's the information.
And when
we're sponges. We need that information.
There's two types of people, especially when it comes to like suspension. There's the technical type that loves the little details about everything. I'm more in layman's terms. So speaking about suspension on a trolley, I try to put it into layman's terms and speak about it how a customer would understand it, because that's how I understand it and my brain works.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
all
don't
they
care
need
how
to
many
know.
millimeters this is and that is or anything like that. But when it comes to, the basics and how it works and how it needs to look and perform, then that's where it's at.
You're almost like your own influencer now.
Me?
You're the face of Big Dog. You're almost like this. You're going to go places now. People are going to go, are you Dean from Big Dog?
Oh, mate, it's weird. It's sort of started already a little bit, but again, I love it. I love what I do.
You have a trusted face. I would have said a face only a mother
Trusted
would love,
face.
but but you're trusted now. It's almost like that.
Thank you, Chris.
No, you're welcome, mate. Uglier than a robber's dog, though. Sorry, bro.
I'm glad we have a mutual respect for each other.
Mutual understanding.
But no, it is that, but it's not about that at all either. At the end of the day,
No,
that's what it's about. It's about giving good information to get as many trucks as we can on the road. Like, love these things, and who wouldn't want to go out and explore, even from the weekend warrior to the daily driver to the ones doing the full lap of Australia. Hearing those stories back of customers enjoying what's come through the workshop and gone out is amazing.
It's a totally different vibe, isn't it, with these things? It's incredible, man.
Well,
the feedback you get from people.
You know what is funny though? The amount of my customers that aren't actually on social media, but know about us from social media intrigues me as well.
Absolutely, mate. You're a power machine, mate.
But no, but it's like the whole, they go out and I've just seen the most beautiful truck leave the workshop and they don't have a Facebook or YouTube
You don't see it out doing its thing.
They'll call us up in like 6 months' time and like, oh yeah, I've just done 60,000 Ks around Australia. And I'm like, have you got any photos? Oh no, I didn't take any photos. How did you travel around Australia and not take a photo?
We see them on the road, Dino. We see them all the time. It's amazing.
The ones that do it without needing to start a new account and try to be an influencer.
Correct. Yeah.
I think they're having a better time than the ones that are trying to be something they're
100%,
not.
They appreciate it more.
Yeah.
Mate. They appreciate it more. It's incredible. And mate, there's that many out there. It's crazy now.
Oh, it's nuts. How's like booking a campsite around Australia now? You got to book it in WA. It's bad, isn't it?
It's bad. Yeah, and it's not just WA, it's everywhere, mate.
Yeah.
I think it's the whole booking system in general and the ghost camping.
What has done well on that though is the Hipcamp have done really well, and those ones camping on other people's properties.
But now you've got councils who are trying to shut the hip camps down. It's a big problem, mate. We just got approached by Yahoo News and did an article on it. It's a hot topic at the moment.
I think I saw some comments online from that one.
We got a few, I hate this bloke. Have you met me before? No, I just hate you.
So do I.
Yeah. I hate me too sometimes.
He called me ugly on the couch.
That is a huge topic at the moment, and I think something needs to be done with it. We're working closely with the Caravan associations, and I think we'll voice that shortly. I think the associations need to get involved in this stuff as well, mate, and have our backs. I think, and
the property owners that can easily let someone pull up stumps for a few nights in an unpowered site and get to take in the beauty of their property. That's like,
what is a problem with that?
I think it's amazing. Like, we've got enough land. We know what the population of Australia is like compared to the land size we've got.
And this is another prime example. We've had this so many times when we've been in the middle of nowhere in these beautiful little outback towns, and the locals come to see us, and they don't know you from a bar of soap. They invite you to their places, mate. Yeah. Come and stay with us. They're lonely people, mate. They need people to come and have a beer with, have a chin wag with.
That's more especially Miriam, with not you, though.
Yes, it's definitely more Miriam. Yeah, I just sit in the caravan and like a little gopher. But
bring me my bag.
Bring me my bag. It's I just don't understand why the councils and stuff are trying to shut this stuff down, mate. We're doing no harm. Absolutely no harm.
It's and like you said, the people in remote parts of Australia are beautiful though. It's
man.
We felt that on a trip we did last year.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And it was like people just let us onto their massive property with open arms, and it's like invited us in like we were like we'd known them for years.
It's sad to say this, but that's the real Australia. That's it's I don't want to sound like a bad person, but Australia seems to not be like that anymore.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a sad thing, dude. It's
I think it's the whole world. It's
look, it is. I mean, there's been a lot of stressful things happening over many years, and everyone's still a little bit tight. And
you can look in a lunchroom, you can walk around the city, and people are just head down into
Head
a device, and
head down. Yep.
you don't have to go out to a restaurant and socialise anymore. It's Uber Eats and all the delivery
Isn't
services
it
to your house.
madness, isn't it?
I can't believe that. The amount of delivery drivers for food around the place.
It's crazy.
People people not eat dinner and hang out anymore?
No,
it's weird.
it doesn't happen. Mate. It doesn't happen.
And I think that's where going back to basics, going camping,
Yep.
having that fire and engaging in a community on those people on the road, the ones in town that don't do that don't get out, that haven't ever camped before, don't understand and don't.
Miriam and I are
recognise
starving for it at the moment. Obviously being here for 8 months. We cannot wait to get back out.
I can't wait for you to go too.
Yeah, I bet you can't wait.
When it comes to travelling Australia and the campsites you can book, the campgrounds you can rock up
there's a
to,
few left.
what's a few sort of key factors that jump out? It could be good, bad, ugly, like the community we just sort of touched on.
Yep.
It doesn't matter where you go in a campground, they've always had that. The kids will all go off and play and throw sticks and do that. So that's always good in a way. They get off their devices. But when you get out of the big cities and stuff, what are you seeing when it comes to sort of vehicles and a few sort of factors there? Well, it's not a Tarago with a box trailer anymore, is it?
No, hands down, the American truck is going crazy. It's a huge wave that's coming. We're seeing far less of the, say, less capable cars like your little dual cabs and all that.
Yeah.
It seems to be more predominantly you either got your American truck 1500 or HD be it, and then a lot more of your Y62s and your cruisers and stuff, which is actually good to see.
Yeah.
I think people are finally waking up, and it's almost like you're going to be pointed at, and you're going to be that guy if you do pull up in a setup that really doesn't look well. So it's good that it's sort of gotten to this, man. I think it's almost like you need to be ashamed if you have a. That's a shit way of saying it, but
yeah, I get what you're saying though, and Hull, from the stats that I'm not a big data person, but from the stories that I see and flip four drives, no matter what trailer that's on the back, it seems to be the wrong vehicle for that application, and it's that soft off-roader rather than something that's built to tow or something like that.
Yeah,
and, you the Y62, the 200 series, the 79 series are all great vehicles. The smaller utes I haven't ever really gotten into much myself, so I can't really talk about something I haven't built and played and used and owned. But the 200 series, Y62, 79, capable vehicles. But I suppose the size of the caravans, what they're doing, how they're loading the vehicle, it's all just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, look, let's talk about a 200 series platform, for instance. It's all good and well as a 3.5 ton tow vehicle, which is amazing. The issue that I start having now is the big GVM upgrades, the 4 ton BTCs that they're putting on these things. This is where I think the limit is getting pushed too far, and this is where accidents can happen. It's just a thing for me. Don't crucify me, but I'm a big believer in, mate, let's leave these cars at what they're designed for. Mm-hmm. If you want to do something bigger, this is what these platforms are here for now.
And what we're doing with these bigger platforms isn't even what their maximum is in the US.
Correct. We're derating them.
Yeah. Yep. And I think, we're derating them, especially with our tow laws compared to the US. Yep. Off the ball, for example, the fifth wheel stuff is another thing.
The fifth wheel is still a little bit of a grey area in Australia, which is crazy.
We've had a fair few meetings lately, and it's one that we're watching. But
I guess they've never opened that book because we haven't had vehicles that can facilitate this.
I think the fifth wheel industry's always been the horse float people behind little trucks or utes that way. Yep. They need the extra room in the bigger trailer and stuff like that. But going into the touring scene and stuff, I think it's a few years off yet. But who knows what's to come.
Yeah,
maybe we do one day, make it cool.
Well, we're not ready in Australia. Like, let's be totally honest. So the free camps are getting shut down. The caravan parks are getting smaller, where the vans are getting bigger. It's just all a profit thing, mate. So it's a big problem, man. Big problem.
So you're saying if the people that own the properties can do a deal to legally get more area for bigger trailers and stuff, who knows what the future holds.
Look, I think it'll open up. It's inevitable. You know, we come from the States last year, 6 weeks there, and Miriam and I went out of our way to stay in a fifth wheel out at Temecula.
That's cool.
And it was amazing. They've really got it right over there. You know, they've got it right. It's at a point where these trucks are almost too small for what they're towing now, which is
big dualies and
crazy thinking of that. Yeah, we're talking 45-foot fifth wheelers, mate, that are weighing 12 ton.
Wow.
You know, it's actually funny. It's almost, Yeah, it's the Hilux and the 4.5 ton van over there.
Yeah, you jump out of this and you look small again.
Yeah, correct. It's madness trying to even fathom that, but they have it right over there, man. They really do. And it would be nice to see it. We have the land. We have the landscape to do it.
Yeah.
We have the space.
Yeah.
It would be really cool.
Another population over here. What we do rather than straying off and trying to start little side quests is the focus. That's our big thing.
100%. So and you've got that
we
right,
don't go out of our lane and try to do things that we say we won't do and then jump into it anyway just because we think there's something there. It's having the good morals in business to stick to what we know, what we do well, and stay online.
It's funny when you talk about the fifth wheelers though, when you do go out into the outback, and we were talking before about the older trucks, the older Power Strokes and that, you see them out there with big fifth wheelers. Yeah. You know, they carry 6, 10 horses.
They've got their own property.
Yeah, because they've got their own property. Yeah, that's right.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
They don't have to look to where to park up because they
100%.
just drive in the yard and dump it. So.
And it actually works really well.
No, that's cool.
The truck, the old Power Strokes, they're designed to do it, and the trailer's designed to do it, and it's really cool to see it. Really cool.
I think we've touched on it before in the past, but the Ranger Super Duty, you talk to, GM, SV, they're bringing out the Chevy, the GMC Yukon shortly.
I get to see it tomorrow morning.
Which is a massive V8 SUV.
Yep.
It's going to be pretty cool. I've already got a few customers already upstairs on the phones going over a bit of a build. So I'm doing a bit of build design on it. Someone say supercharge it. But no.
Yes!
I'm serious. I've had some meetings, but we got some pretty cool stuff coming for what we know is coming. But when it comes to something like the Ranger Super Duty, it'll be really interesting to see if other manufacturers jump on board and try to compete. If the Land Cruiser's dropping the V8s in the 79 or 70 series range, there's a couple electric vehicles kicking around now. Nothing else has done something as much as what the Ford have done with the Ranger Super Duty. Yeah?
It's gonna be a cracker of a platform, but again, we're jumping back into the HD style. It's not there.
You know what I do want?
What?
That Kia Tasman. It is hideous.
It's ugly.
Yeah, but I want one because it's hideous.
It's great. I think it's great. So, the BYD Shark, mate.
I know there's some
I'm here
cool,
raving.
But you know how
like
I said just before, I get easily distracted.
Yep.
And we do this all the time.
Yep.
You just heard a laugh.
Do we? Do we?
you said
Who
this,
said that?
But we get sending stuff to each other. But it's like, check this out. This would be sick. And then it's like, nah, just focus on what we're doing, do it well. But that that distraction over here of something new and different. It's definitely enticing sometimes.
The entire automotive industry is exciting at the moment, I think.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see if any other manufacturer out there is going to start trying to compete with the HDs, with the American truck scene. What do you think? I mean, Ford's giving it a track with the Super Duty.
Super Duty, but is it the 9-ton GCM? So if the vehicle's 4.5, the trailer can only be...
I thought it was less than that.
I'm not
I
too
thought
sure
it could have been 80, 100 or something, which is...
But I think if the vehicle, if you're going to canopy and wanting to tow 4.5 ton, it's still not the right platform. I think I've heard how good it is. I'm definitely keen and intrigued.
It's going to be a cool car, no doubt about it.
I don't think anything else out there, unless we start building trucks in Australia again from scratch.
Which will never happen, mate.
Which will never happen.
No.
It's a bit sad, but these things, just nothing tows like it.
It'll
you
just
go
be
up into the trucks. We haven't really spoken about the trucks before, but
the MPS style stuff.
Yeah, I love them because it's big and cool.
So cool.
But you can't just park it in your driveway and go on a trip.
I think Miriam and I went down that avenue when we were looking at the 200s and the HDs and all that type of stuff. Again, they are freaking cool, man. You can do some amazing stuff with them. They've got a massive
actually fairly
GVM.
Inexpensive to build.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
But you sit over the suspension.
That's the only thing that I personally can't do. I just don't. You're sitting over the top of the wheels.
Yeah,
they're not the quickest thing in the world either.
Yeah.
And I just think they don't have the torque and the power that's needed. You know, we're talking about the HC trucks and everyone says, oh, they're big, they're heavy, they're going to get bogged. That is polar opposite to what they do, where I think these MPS trucks fall into that category of just not having enough power for the sheer weight and size of them.
Yeah.
But they are rad, aren't they? There's no doubt about it.
I want to
bar work and the canopy
I
stuff.
should get like
boats.
Unidan and the Mogs and all. I should get a couple of them in on the couch and really get their customers to go out because they're actually making the tracks wider for these things.
That is a good point. Maybe we should ring a couple of associations, mate.
We get complaints because the American trucks are too wide for the tracks, but we'll let those big things go through first.
How much wider are they? Like on a serious note, I think it's about 120 millimeters, 60 mil each side. Is it about
2.5 is the max width, which
we can't,
which is what you can go to, which is bloody wide. wide.
But
and
what's a
they're the
200
same.
say?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, correct me if I'm wrong,
I don't
but
get
I
in,
thought it was
I'm in layman's terms, like I said
You're
before.
just
I
in
don't
sales.
get into the millimeters and the
Mate,
full
I thought it was only
specs.
about 120 mil difference, but it would love to hear if anyone actually knows the answer. Please tell us. But
Yeah,
it's not. They're not much bigger.
And that's the thing where it's deceptive between going out of a 200 into a 1500 and they think the 2500 is too big. And then in the Ram platform, they're like, I can't go into a 3500 because they've just got this image of it being bigger, but it's exactly the same
Well,
size
the
vehicle.
1500 cab is exactly the same as the HD cab. Then they go lengthening it a little bit.
A tiny bit.
Yeah, pretty much. The cab is nearly identical, so
there you go.
It's interesting, isn't it? So
with the new van, the Sunland, you said, did I just read something about Caravan awards and something like that?
Yeah, look, we're excited about that.
I opened my phone, I didn't see me for once, I saw you.
Yeah, Caravan of the Year awards. We're really excited. We got invited to bring the LTD to it down in Warrnambool in Victoria, and we were stoked, mate. We got runners up. Unfortunately, we didn't get first place.
You didn't?
Very, very, very close.
Didn't pay him enough.
Yeah, probably. Spin Effects actually won it. We were a close second, but we did win best build quality.
Yeah,
which is. It's huge, mate. Yeah, having best build quality in Australia in the caravan industry is massive. So we're very, very proud of that. And we had a first crack at it. It was the first crack. This is the very first of the LTDs that we worked with Sunland on. So, mate, we're stoked. We'll come back next year. We've already pretty much just scrapped it and we started again pretty much with this one. Yeah, pretty much as this one was being finished, we had new designs ready to rock. So, so 2026 will be huge. Yeah. We got a huge new lineup of vans coming, mate, and it's going to be very interesting.
Sunland crew, they're growing quickly as well, I'm sure.
Very quickly, mate. Very, very quickly. It's exciting times, and so they should. They've been a quiet achiever for a long time, Dean.
It's good to see. They're very close to us.
Very, very close, mate. I actually park at theirs when I come to visit you. Yeah. Because you got no car parks.
No, that's right. I don't think they do either.
They don't either.
They've got a field next to them that you can still park.
Yeah, I park on the airfield pretty much.
When it comes to Sunland, though, it's great seeing them down the road. Yep. I see their vans come past and people stop out the front on our corner.
And they go, big dog builds?
Oh yeah, I think they're putting one and one together, and then and it's interesting seeing whatever the vans are from their smaller separate range X series,
X series
and
range,
then jumping up into the Sunland stuff, and seeing them come past. I sit out. That's my little view, looking at all the traffic.
Yeah, you do overlook everyone like this god, don't you?
Like security of the estate.
Yeah, security of the estate, pretty much.
I gotta look at something, mate. I get easily distracted, but if I can watch cars drive, I'm happy.
You normally just text me, mate. But it's cool. There's been many a times when Miriam and I have been hanging out there when we were building the LTD and designing it and seeing clients come in American trucks. And they're like, we go to Big Dog Builds next. They're just down the road. So that's really cool having that connection in the same street and getting a lot of the clients from there into here.
I think it's just starting too.
It's just starting, mate.
We've
got many years ahead.
Massive.
Yeah, it's going to be huge.
This year already for us, last week was insane. Yep. So I was telling
some big sales, didn't you?
Oh, it was nuts. Like we did 8 builds this week out the door. Yeah. I think it was double that booked in last week. Like
crazy,
it's just
isn't
insane.
It? So, amazing. Well, hats off to you guys, mate. You deserve it.
It's great, but it's cool to see, and then what they're getting into, how they're using the vehicle, all the basic questions. Yep. Is really interesting to hear, and people are just out there having a crack. And I think after COVID, we've talked about COVID in multiple videos, but people are just like YOLO now. Rents are getting more expensive. Houses are, it's just insane. The world's a mess in some ways, but we've got a beautiful country. Go and explore.
It's going back to normal. I mean, the caravan industry, like we talked about the COVID, it had a huge slump. But now it's going gangbusters again. They've had record inquiries made down at Sunland already. Yeah, wow. It's not, might just be my pretty face, but I don't.
I think it's Miriam.
It's probably Miriam. It's probably Miriam. No, it's good times ahead, mate. And you guys have, as I say, bulletproof the business with the systems, and it's just mind blowing. And this is why you're turning them out, mate.
It's been a lot of work, but it's exciting. It's rewarding to see. Like I said, not just a build come in, stock and leave, ready to tow a van like yours, but
it's every caliber.
It's seeing that happy customer at the end of the day, and then again hearing the stories from them traveling, and even if it's just the people that are using it as a tow rig on a weekend, it's insane. Like
it's awesome, isn't it?
What comes through that gate, it's insane.
It's crazy. Yeah. Can I take that black one out the gate by any chance?
Is that bigger than yours?
I actually do love that truck. That's well done with that one. It's sexy, very sexy. I like it.
Chris.
Yes.
Thanks for joining me on the couch, mate.
Mate, it's good to. It's always a pleasure being on the casting couch, mate. I absolutely love it. Mate, it's a pleasure. We always have many chin wags, but to do it like this,
it's great.
I think it's about getting bit more information out there, mate, to the people. So
Oh, and it's exactly that. I'm keen to see what you guys do in these next 12 months.
it's going to be good.
I'm sure there'll be another truck with us in there at some point, but we'll have to just wait and see.
We'll zip that one at the moment. Are we going to see you over at maybe Cable Beach or something in a few months, mate, for a quiet frothy?
Don't think so at all. But
I might talk to your business partner, hey, see if we can get you over.
You know, if we can get out, the beauty with Starlink these days, and that's another one that we haven't even touched on, we'll leave that for next time. But if anyone's keen on hearing us talk for longer, keen to hear, but I can't even put up with him for this long. If you want to hear this in audio,
well, that's not nice. I like listening to you.
Oh, that's good. Get used to it.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I'm used to it.
Nah, I appreciate it, mate.
Pleasure, brother.
Take care, drive safe.
100%, mate.
And if you have any issues, don't call me. Call Al.
Call Al. Yeah, Al.